What's happening, monkeys? Darren McCabe here from Tech Monkeys, back with another one in our series of tech tips videos where we try and answer your tech questions and problems. If you've got a tech question you'd like answering, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll be only too glad to help. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to identify what it is that's eating up all your hard disk space and what you can do about it, how you can clear that space back up, and what you should never touch as well. There are some files you should just never delete. So the first thing you need to know when troubleshooting this sort of issue is how big your hard disk is and how much space you've got free. So to do that, you want to open Windows Explorer. It can be done in a number of ways. I personally like shortcut keys, they're just quicker. Windows key and E on your keyboard will open Windows Explorer. Clicking on the File Explorer icon down here will open it. It's called File Explorer now in Windows 10, but it used to be Windows Explorer. It's the same thing. Or alternatively, click on your Start menu and click File Explorer. Once you're in here, look on the left hand side for My Computer or This PC. This PC if you're using Windows 10. Click on here and it will quite quickly at a glance show you all your drives. I have a C drive, a D drive, and then I have a network storage device or a NAS that we're not going to go into too much at this moment. So you can get an overview in Windows 10, it shows you straight away. If you're on an older version of Windows, you may need to right click, choose Properties, and this will give you an overview of use space, free space, total capacity, and give you a nice little graph of which is which. But what it doesn't tell you is what is using my disk space. So as you can see on here, I've used 248 out of a total of 929. So I'm not in a problem at the moment, but if I was, how would I find out? There's two utilities I use for identifying where my disk space has been used. The first one I've personally been using for, well, as long as I can remember, and that's called Tree Size. There's all the applications I'll show you today are free, and I'll put links to them in the comment section, in the description below. They're all free. There is a professional version that you need to use if you're using it within a business environment, but if you're just using it at home, you're free to use the free version. It's completely safe, completely malware virus free, as long as you get it from the links I'll put in the description below, as I say. So start the program up, choose select directory, and choose the disk that you want to look at. We're going to have a look at my C drive. What it'll do is it'll start analysing the space that's used on your hard disk. It may take a little while depending on the speed of your computer, your hard disk, and how much data is actually used, but what it'll do when it's finished, it'll come up like this and it'll show you in size order which are the biggest folders on your machine. You can then quite quickly and simply by clicking the little arrows to the left of each folder drill down into what's using the most space. So on my machine it's program files, then it's something within Steam, surprisingly enough. I'm an avid gamer. Steam is a gaming app for the uninitiated among you. And you can quickly drill down Steam apps, common, and here it is listing the games that I've got. And we can see that Payday 2, which is actually a game I don't really play. I think I got it for free, played it once or twice, is using 40 gigabytes of my hard disk. So of that 250, almost 20% of that disk space has been used by Payday 2, a game I don't even play. So what you don't want to do is just delete it from here. With some folders that's fine. If it's in program files, if it's in Windows folders, program data, anything like that, it's best not to. There's proper uninstallers which I'll show you in a minute. Next biggest underneath that is my profile folder in downloads, app data. Downloads you can get away with deleting the files in there. There'll be things in there you just don't need, Telegram, desktops, photos, stuff you can just get away with deleting. You don't have to uninstall. Next is program files, again games. I need to stop playing so many games. And underneath that is Windows. Windows is always going to be one of your bigger folders. Don't be tempted to ever delete anything from within the Windows folder. It's just not worth it. But you'll also notice occasionally this 7 files. Now there's some pretty big files here. Hibberfill, page file, swap file. Don't delete these either. No matter how tempting it is, they look like big useless files. They're not. They're important system files that store things like your system hibernation state, your virtual memory. You cannot delete those files. Don't be tempted. Another application that does a similar job but in a bit nicer way that I was recently introduced to is called Windirstat. Not quite as easy to remember and it doesn't quite roll off the tongue. I had to Google search myself to remind myself what it was called. But it does do a nice job in a slightly different way. Forgive me, I've got a bit of a cold. So, we'll choose C drive again. And we can see these little Pac-Men going away and munching their way through all my data and trying to find where all the files are. Now, if I can remember how to do this, because as I say, it's not my usual one, it does give quite a nice visual on what types of files have been used. We'll let this run through and finish. Shouldn't take too long. Thankfully running a solid state disk. But you see, this is... Sorry. You'll have to forgive me. I'm trying to get over a cold. I'll try not to cough down the microphone. At least I can mute it in time. This is why I prefer tree size. You saw how quickly tree size went through all the files on my C drive. Admittedly, Windirstat does do a little bit more. It's 78, 81% through. We'll let that finish up and come to an end before we... if I'd have known it was going to take this long, I'd have started it up beforehand. All I want to show you really is a pretty nice visualization it gives you at the end of this process where it's finished analysing all your data. That not only shows you where the files are, but it shows you what the files are at a quick glance. Let's see if I can bring that up beforehand. No, it doesn't look like it. We're at 95% through anyway. While we wait for that to finish... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Just as I say it. Now, looks a little bit confusing. I'll give you that. What it does is it color codes every file type. So you can see here, bundle files are purple. These are them all here. It's showing you all. I'm not entirely sure. Again, part of Payday 2. That's what's taking up the most on my C drive. Now, strangely enough, this program is being a little on the slow side. It's doing a lot of work, I suppose. But what I wanted to show you was over here on the right hand side where it will show you the types of files: bundle file, pack file, application extension, MP4, VLC, and how much percentage of your system those individual files are. So if it's a load of JPEGs, it's a load of .exe files, it's a load of MP4 files, you quickly know what files you're having problem with, what it is you've been doing on your system. You know, clearly been recording and downloading a lot of video. The color coded bit at the bottom is just for an even nicer visual representation, so you can quickly see that whatever these purple files are taking up the most of my hard disk. There's your purple files. There's your greens, oranges, or red, purple, whatever colour you want to call that. So it's another tool. It does the same thing. Shouldn't be used for cleaning up your system, just for identifying where the problems are. Now there's a couple of applications built into Windows you can use, as well as some great free utilities. So if we go back to this screen, if you remember it from the beginning, you may have noticed when I was in this properties, you have disk cleanup. Now, when you click disk cleanup, you'll get some options. Do you want to delete the setup log files? It's even going to tell you how much it's going to do. So let's have a look. We'll get rid of most things. Recycle bin's always a good one to empty. Temporary files, temporary internet files, we'll do all those things. Great. Let's click OK to that. Do I want to delete them? Yeah, and off that'll go. While that's running, I'll bring up my Steam page. That's not what I meant to bring up. While that's running, what we're going to look for is another great little application called C Cleaner. Made by this excellent company, Piriform. Can't recommend them enough. They make some exceptional applications. We're going to go for the free version. There is professional and a professional plus version that do some extra stuff. Excuse me, automatic updating, defragmentation, all those bits and pieces. Click your download, start your download, and off it goes. Once you've got it downloaded, get it installed as quickly as you can, because you're making a video and you should have installed it beforehand and you try to cover up. Install. Right, we're not going to run it just yet. We're going to see what this cleanup did. Did it finish? Yeah, so it's done and finished, and it saved us 10 gig, somewhere around that region. Most of that was in the recycle bin. That's Windows' answer to cleaning up your disk. CCleaner goes a little bit further. Now, with all these tools, you have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to delete things you don't want to delete. So you'll see when you start up CCleaner, you've got loads of options here, not just the few options that the Microsoft version gave you, but you can get rid of a whole load of things. If you get rid of stuff like cookies, it will delete any saved passwords or saved logins rather that you have for web pages. Excuse me, recently typed URLs if you're one of these people that starts typing a URL and just selects it from your drop down. So you may want to untick some of these. It'll go further and do your registry. There's a whole load of additional tools in here for duplicate finders for files. If you are the sort of person that has millions of the same file, it'll help you identify those. But we're just going to go into this main initial session and click Analyze. And what I want to see, I'm not going to run it on this system because I'm not bothered about my disk space at the moment. Google Chrome needs to be closed. Can we close Chrome? I think we can without causing ourselves any problems. Leave. And it's going to do an analysis of how much space it can save us. Bearing in mind, Windows has already done a cleanup and it's already saved 6 gig. Let's see when CCleaner finishes what it comes back with. If I can stop coughing for 2 minutes down the microphone in your ear. So it'll take a little bit longer. So these tools, while that's working, I think I can open Chrome again because it's finished analysing Chrome. CCleaner from Piriform, Tree Size, which is from Jam Software. Make sure you always go to the proper URL for these things. You'll see as you scroll down there's file hippos and portable apps, and Wikipedia's not so bad. Bleeping Computer's a very good site as well. Softonic, yeah. Get it from the manufacturer's site. It's the safest place. Same, sound advice for everything you download. And that Windirstat was the other one, which comes from, strangely enough, windirstat.net. Let's see how Tree Size has got on. So, Tree Size says I can save another 13.1 gigabytes or 13,147 megabytes. Bear in mind Windows has already run, as I said. That's a hell of a saving. If you're running out of disk space, this is the application I absolutely 100% recommend you use to clean it up. Just be careful what you tick and make sure it is things you want to delete. Download history cookies, you could untick those without tying up too much disk space. That's it, really. That's how to analyze and clean up your disk space. If you've got any more problems like this, feel free, as I said at the beginning, leave us a comment in the comment section below and we'll be glad to help. Until then, happy surfing.